Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Joseph Werner joining us here. He's a therapist at Child and Family Consultants and excited to have him back here from Melbourne, Florida. That's childandfamilyconsultants.com. Welcome back, Joseph, and tell us a little bit about what it is you do.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon to everybody. So, Child and Family Consultants is a pediatric outpatient clinic, and we work with children from infants all the way through young adulthood. We work with families quite a bit. Educating families and helping families understand their kids is one of our primary goals. And if we can help with the relationship between the parents and the children, then that helps the children grow in their development, and it helps everybody in the family be a little bit more resilient.
Perfect. And by the way, age range and the type of people you're helping, would you mind just sharing?
Sure. We work with infants, so sometimes I actually see newborns here at the office, and then. So, for example, earlier today, I worked with a little 5-year-old girl who's on the hyperactive side, and then worked with a 8-year-old who has autism. And this afternoon, I'll be working with a teenager who has some learning disabilities and social skills issues. So we really see quite a variety of children, and also quite a variety of families.
Perfect. Well, what did you have in mind for us today?
Well, the last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about what it was like for a family to come into the office at Child and Family Consultants and how we get the therapy process started. So today, I thought what we would do is to try to show you a little bit about what a therapy room might look like, and I'm going to turn to the side a little bit so you can get
Sure.
a little bit of a view of the room. And the children, of course, when they hear they're going to a therapy office, they're always concerned that, oh, this is another doctor's office. And so that makes them a little bit on the anxious side. And so when they come in, we first try to tell them, well, we're going to go play. Wait till you see the playroom that we've got.
Yeah.
And might be a little bit hard to see, but in this room here, we've got it set up to really entice kids into being curious and interested in playing. So we've got a swinging apparatus, and we've got all kinds of toys and equipment around the room. So hopefully the kids come in and they don't think doctor or anything. They think, play. And play is really the primary way that the occupational therapist and speech therapist at Child and Family Consultants intervene with the children. We start on a process where if we can make some good communication and an emotional connection with kids, then what we can do then is we can get the child's trust and develop rapport. And then we can maybe get the kids to do things that maybe ordinarily they would be a little worried or fearful about doing. Or maybe, they haven't had a lot of success, whether it's things like riding a bike or handwriting or even holding conversations. So the goal is to really show kids they've got a lot more inner abilities than they might think, as well as facilitating their development. And what we also really want to do is teach the parents how important it is for them to be able to play with their kids as a way of promoting their child's development.
Yes, I like that idea. I have a 6 and 8-year-old, by the way. My son has to start physical therapy next week for his neck. So I'm curious to see how this works. Yeah, he's complaining of neck pain. A lot of kids, I think, have the tablet, what do they call it? Tech neck?
That's right. They strain their neck muscles.
Yeah. He's 8 years old. He's been complaining since May, and always like this, moving his head. And to the point where I got nervous, took him to the doctor over the summer once, took him again last month. And I said, something is not right. I've limited the iPad, just did an MRI, which is so cute to see my 8-year-old go on the MRI machine and like sit there with the headphones on, because that's not easy for a kid to sit still. And he did. Doctor called the other day and said, there's nothing wrong. It's got to be his muscles from his neck.
Yeah.
You start
Yeah.
PT right away. And I'm like, oh, it's scary. What does an 8-year-old go through for PT? I'm nervous.
Well, if it's a physical
Yes.
therapist who's oriented towards pediatrics, what they're going to do is they're going to have a bunch of play activities that the child won't even quite realize that they're doing exercises. And he might also work in or teach you how to do a little bit of neck massage
Oh,
too,
wow.
because that would be a good way to relax those muscles all the way around the neck. And so what I wanted to do is just see if I could show you a little bit of a demonstration. I'm
Sure.
hoping this shows up on camera. So if you
Go
would
for it.
kind of follow me in the picture and see if you can see this.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a kid coming in, and what they get a chance to do is just to play right away. And then if we can get their parents to do some of this too, it relaxes the
So
parents. Cool. And then we can do all kinds of tricks on this too. But you can imagine that this would be a fun thing, especially for some of the older kids
Yeah.
to be able to do, and they spin around. And while they're doing this, they're working on some of their muscle skills. But the other thing they're doing is they're also working on how their bodies work. And they're working on feeling good about how their bodies work. And for some of the kids, it shows them they can do things that maybe they didn't think they could do before. I'll give you another quick example. One of the things that we teach a lot of the older kids to do is to juggle.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are my stick juggling tools here.
Aww.
And juggling is a really cool activity to teach kids, because there's 4 parts to doing it. One is you got to keep your body balanced. Another one is you got to keep them centered. You make a plan, and then you work your plan. And we teach that system to kids, and they learn how to juggle. But then we show them that those same 4 things can be used to help you, whether you're learning to do multiplication tables or write a story or skate. So it's a matter of the kids coming in and realizing, hey, I never knew I could juggle before. Now I can juggle. Now I can work. My timing and my rhythm is better. I feel good about myself. And I just did something that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's very important to get silly.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, we have these little guys here like squibs, and these are really kind of fun things that you can attach, and you can put them together here, and we've got different colors. And if you really want to get a child's attention, this never fails.
Mm-hmm. That is so funny. The kids are just going to be like,
you can definitely get eye contact, and you get them to look at you, and it starts a conversation, and it's an icebreaker. And so you can't forget how important it is sometimes to just be silly with kids. And the goal of play is not necessarily to be goal directed. Play is designed to have fun. Play is for its own sake.
Yeah.
Now, play is also the way little kids learn how to experience the world. They come into the world a little bit of a blank slate, and they understand size and shape by not only looking at something, but by putting it in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then they learn about, how fast and how hard can my bodies move by going down swings, and then seeing, well, what if I went down on my tummy, or what if I went down backwards?
Mm-hmm.
Or they look at the sandbox, and they start pouring sand here, and they pour sand there, and how does the sand feel on my feet, and what if I mix the water with the sand? So in effect, little kids are like little scientists, and it's one of our jobs is to help them feel comfortable with the sensory world, everything they see and they hear and they touch and they feel. And the way to go about that is to create these play opportunities where kids get a chance to not only experience the sensory world, but also to feel good about it and to feel
Mm-hmm.
safe about it. It's not an uncommon thing for a lot of the kids coming into our office to be on the hypersensitive side, so that the same sights and sounds and tastes and movements that might be okay for us, to the children,
Yeah.
they might feel a little bit uncomfortable or even stressed about it. And you can imagine how hard it would be to learn or to understand in the world if you are constantly feeling overwhelmed or bombarded
And
by all of
angst.
the
Yep.
sights and sounds. Yeah. So we use these sensory activities as a way of making the kids feel more comfortable with their bodies and their world, and also to help them realize that, if I have goop all over my hands, I don't have to panic and scream. I
Yeah.
can go over and get a towel and wipe them off, or I can go over to the sink and I can take care of myself. It's not a situation where I have to panic about it.
Well, let's remind everyone, since we're about halfway through, how we can reach
Mhm.
out to you, please.
Sure, you can give us a phone call. Our phone number is area code 321, and the number is 768-6800. And we'd love to also hear from you by contact us on our email, which is childandfamily@cfl.rr.com. And that's all spelled out, childandfamily @cfl.rr.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we're skipping that break. We are here live on our Zoom, excited to talk more. And I like the Captain America posted, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. This is we themed this our superheroes room. So we've got pictures of Captain America and Batman and Batgirl and Superman and so forth, so that the kids feel like wow, this is a really interesting place.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. And you've been doing this for how long? Could you share a little bit of your backstory? Not everybody is aware.
Well, I've been doing this since 1981, although I usually joke around and tell people I started when I was 12, so they don't think I'm too old. So,
Oh
but
my goodness.
so yeah, so I've got about 42 years worth of pediatrics experience in me, and fortunately, I've had a lot of opportunities to for families to let me into their lives, and to be able to help them understand their kids and learn how to play with their kids, and then facilitate their child's development.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And you're passionate about this. What is the youngest you can treat someone at your facility?
Well, the youngest child actually we've seen, and this has happened a couple of times, is we have seen babies who have been born, say, a month or 2 months premature, and then they become medically stable. And we have actually seen them on what normally would have been their delivery date.
Oh,
So we can see them when they're young enough, practically kind of cup them in your hands here. Now, unfortunately for the babies, a lot of times they're going through a lot. That's why they get referred so early. Um, but the nice thing is that we're able to make a difference in the babies, and even more importantly, we often have very anxious parents, and we're able to help the parents relax, understand how they can help their baby, and that everything is probably going to be okay, and this is what you can do, and this is what's going on, and you've got a team of people that will help you through this journey.
oh, beautiful. All right. Joseph, what else did you want to discuss today about the work you're doing? Because there's still so much more. But I gotta ask, is that a horse in the background? I've been staring at that the whole time.
Ah, yes.
I
Go
know it is.
get
I'm
him.
like, I keep like, is it a dog? Is it a stuffed animal? What is it? Okay, cute.
Yeah, this is our. I got to show you.
Sure.
He's our horse or mule here, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold him up a little bit so you can get a sense of his whole body. And what kids do is that they can sit on him, and they can bounce up and down. Sometimes they'll hold on to the ears as they move around like a hippity hop. But it's just one of those toys that kids see it and they immediately smile, and then they gravitate right to it. And sometimes when we're setting up the play scheme for the kids, we use free play. So what a child will do is that they'll come into the therapy room, and basically the therapist is going to follow their lead. So if they go over to the trampoline, then we go over the trampoline. If they go over to climb in the big fort in the back, then we climb in the fort with them. And then we follow their lead, and we go with what their interests are, and we just kind of entice them over into maybe some of the things that we would like to see them work on. But at other times, we do what you might call more therapeutic play, is where we set up an activity for the child, and then we kind of pull in their interests. So, for example, if I was to work on some social skills with kids, one of the things we do is teach them how to do some magic tricks, because one way to get attention is to be able to do a magic trick. So, for example, we'd have this ball in here, and we could set the ball up and drop it into the container. The child learns how to swish it around, say the magic words, and there's nothing left in the bag anymore. It's empty. But fortunately, because this is magic, we teach the child to say the magic words, and all of a sudden, the ball appears again.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, wait a minute. Oh, there was a second one in there that reappeared too. How about that?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So we can set the kids up with an activity that encourages them to feel good about themselves, start a conversation with somebody. They get a lot of praise and encouragement for doing their magic trick, and maybe we give a child a way to break into conversation with friends and peers that maybe they didn't otherwise have a way to get in to make that social contact.
Oh, well, let me also ask you about, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Your staff and the people that work there. I know we got to talk about some of them before, but tell us about.
Yes, we have a terrific staff of speech therapists and occupational therapists, and on our next meeting, I'm going to introduce you to some of our staff. They're going to be part of this, and you'll get a chance to meet them. As a matter of fact, I have one staff member here. I'm going to bring her around here. This is our office manager, Miss Pam Miller. And so Pam has been,
Hello.
she sets things up for us, and she makes.
Hi, Pam. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Great. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Excited to have you guys. He's always a
Thank you.
pleasure. What is it like working with Joseph? Let me put her on the spot.
Oh,
There is never a dull moment.
How long have you been there for?
I've been there for 2 years, and I
Okay.
started out as a therapist and for occupational therapy, and then now I'm office manager, and I love every minute, every aspect. I love that we can make a positive difference in the lives of the children, and also be able to give the parents the tools that they need to help carry over once the kids are at home. So it's very, very rewarding. Very rewarding.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you for stopping by and saying hello. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Oh,
Thank
how
you.
sweet.
yeah, we have a really, and I must say, I know sometimes it sounds like I'm just being promoting the business, but we really do have a staff that's extremely caring and knowledgeable and experienced, and is capable really of dealing with just about any type of issue that a child is having, or that a family is having with their child. And we take a lot of we take a lot of positive attitude, and help the families also feel like not only do they have a positive attitude with their kids, but sometimes when you have a child with who's had a disability or some type of special needs, what happens is that the parents have to sort of reframe some of their dreams and hopes for their child. And what we can do is help those parents realize that the new dreams and hopes they have for their child can be just as positive and just as successful as maybe what they were imagining their child would be, before they had to come across some issues that the child will be dealing with. So helping parents realize that even if a child has got learns in a different way or moves in a different way or speaks in a different way, that they can still have an opportunity to help their child advance and have a great and happy life.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Well, Joseph, in our last few minutes of the show, it's always good to reestablish how we can contact you and reach you. And again, the areas that you work in, and do you accept insurances? Some people might be asking those types of questions.
Yeah, we take all kinds of insurances, and we take Medicaid, some of the Medicaid HMOs in Florida. We do have some families who pay private, but for the most part, anything in the medical field, we try to take as many types of insurances as we can. And if a family comes in and they really have a difficulty with being able to pay for the therapy sessions, or they don't have insurance, we will work with them every way we can to make sure that finances aren't the reason that their child doesn't get the therapy that they need, or the family don't get some counseling that they would need, and help them with their child.
I love it. See, I'm learning all about this. I can't wait because I'm going to be at a physical therapy office soon for my son. Interesting the stuff you do, and you make it fun.
Yeah, as best, and if you need to, give me a call, and I'll add to whatever the physical therapist is already doing with your son.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, it's only so much. All I know is to do this. Stretch. Stretch is probably doing the wrong thing, and then he doesn't even do it. So I have no idea what type of neck exercises there. I shouldn't say that. I have a herniated disc. I went to physical therapy last November. Oh, it was so
Ah,
painful. We did
ooh,
stuff. I had to strengthen my back with like the
yeah,
bands. I'm trying to think of the other neck.
yep.
For a child, will they put like the electronic like stim on it too?
It's possible. Depends upon what the physical therapist feels is the areas of the muscle activity that they want to invigorate and get going. Sometimes there's an imbalance. One side is stronger than the other. Sometimes certain muscles are a little bit weaker. But there's also lots of fun ways that you can get kids to do exercises too, and hopefully they will incorporate that. You can get kids to do a lot of things if you can explain to them that they're going to be Spider-Man, and this is the exercise that Spider-Man's going to do to have to shoot his webs, or
Hmm.
you're going to be a magician or a dinosaur and so forth, and this is the way a dinosaur moves, and when you move this way, this is going to help your head and your neck, but it's also kind of fun to move in this direction and to move in a certain way. So there really are all kinds of fun ways of getting kids to work on their even head and neck muscles, because the key
Yeah.
is, unless a child feels like this is something they want to do, of course they're not going to follow through. So you got to create that motivation so that the child comes home and says, Mom, I want to show you how I can be Spider-Man, or I want to show
Yeah.
you I'm practicing my Spider-Man exercises today.
So cute. All right. Well, thank you again, Joseph. One more time, tell us
You're
how to
welcome.
reach you.
So you can reach Child and Family Consultants at our phone number, which is area code 321-768-6800, or contact us via our email, which is childandfamily@cfl.rr.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Looking forward to speaking with you again. And it's great to see your staff. That was Pam, right?
Yes, that was Miss Pam. Yeah,
Oh, well, thank you. We'll keep in touch. Are
welcome.
you back next week?
I will be back next week,
Great.
and I hope to introduce you to a couple of my staff members.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network. on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.